Well, the touring scene in Australia is starting to change. The American market is starting to become massive in the country. The Rams, the Chevys, the Fords are all starting to take over that overlanding long distance touring scene. The Ram 2500 has been on the shores of Australia now for a few years. And right here we've got WIGRAM, which I'm going to take you through today. A few years ago, Pete built the dual cab cruiser, which you may have seen a few times here on this channel. That was built to tow, it was built to go for long distance, it was built to go touring. When the time came, the American vehicle started to hit the market, it was a no-brainer. You had to go to an American vehicle for the towing, for the comfort, for that sort of long distance, just heavy hauling that it can do. So this car here, the WIGRAM, is about to actually go to the Channel Country for 2 weeks to go hunting. It's got the big toy hauler going on the back of it with the buggy, side-by-side buggy on it as well. This thing was built for a purpose. It was built to go long distance. It was built to tour. It was built to work out of, and that's what this car can do. So in this episode, we're going to go through everything that's been done to it: bar work, lighting, suspension, everything that we've done onto the car. We've done it ourselves. So let's go through it. We've got the Trucks and Toys bull bar on the front. Now, this bull bar, we went for this bull bar purely just due to the size of it. It does cover the whole front end of this vehicle. A lot of the bull bars on the market don't, so that's why we went for this one. This thing goes, touring through the whole of Australia. So you've got your cattle on the road, your horses, your kangaroos, all that sort of stuff. You want to make sure that you're fully protected, especially with a car of this size. So bar on the front. We've also got the Supernova spotties on the front as well. Now, we've been a long time supporter of Supernova. We run them on every vehicle that we have. We've also run all of their lighting in our trays as well. These are the Infinite 8.5s, put out a phenomenal amount of light. We've also got the Road Vision lights in here. Now, these come with the bar. Supernova don't actually make a size to suit, so we've just left the Road Vision in the bar work for now. Bar's also got all the integrated sensors up the front, so especially in the size of this thing, you've still got your camera, which you can still see out of. You've still got the sensors up here as well. Winch, we haven't put a winch in yet. We're sort of waiting for the time that we need to. When this car does get back from the Channel Country, we are going to head up to the high country, really put it through its paces, fully flexing it up on the tracks and just seeing what it's capable of. So we might look into maybe getting a winch on for that trip, but at the moment, we haven't got that far. We've also got the GME aerial on the front now. This is a 6.6 dBi aerial, perfect for that long distance touring. So when it comes to engine mods, we haven't really done a hell of a lot to this thing just yet. Out of the box, you've got just under 300 kilowatts and just over 1100 Newton meters of torque. Compared to the 79 dual cab, it's chalk and cheese. They're towing the same sort of thing, doing the same sort of job. This can do it effortlessly compared to what the dual cab was doing. Comfort, the power and the fuel economy you still get. I drove this thing the other week and I was getting 12 litres per 100 just from doing 300 kilometers, which is still quite unbelievable. Hence another reason why we've gone for the Ram. Now, later on we will be doing snorkels, maybe a power upgrade or something like that, but for the moment it's not really a priority. Now, moving on to suspension, we've got the Outback Kitters remote res 2.5 inch lift kit in this thing. We've also paired that with the Falcon Wild Peaks. Now, Boss Pete has always been a big fan of the Mickey T's. At the time when purchased this vehicle and doing all the upgrades and stuff, he couldn't get the Mickey T's, so he went for the Wild Peaks. Actually been a great tyre. He's been really happy with how they've gone. So 315 by 7017 on some method rims as well. Really nice look. The black look looks really nice with this vehicle. Phenomenal. No punctures, nothing like that yet. Also been able to handle the weight of the Ram quite well so far. We've also got a set of the Bushwhacker flares, which we've colour coded as well, just to push that guard out a bit more, just to cover the wheel poke that the tyre and rim choice had on this vehicle. So moving down the side of the car, the sliders or step protection on this vehicle aren't really a necessity. This thing doesn't really go rock crawling or stuff that may damage the sills. Eventually it may be doing that sort of stuff, but for now it's not. But for the added comfort of getting to the vehicle due to it being so high, we've gone for a set of amp research steps. So still quite a sturdy step. Bolt straight on. We actually do install these to Rams from customer builds if they're requiring amp research steps. So that's just a bolt-on kit that we do. So as I said before, this vehicle is built for a purpose. On the back we've got a custom hunting setup which is designed to be as easy, light and just simple as possible, especially when you're out hunting. So got your premium plus tray. It's also got your headboard fuel tank, so you get an extra 140 litres in the fuel tank. It's also got the drop down sides, full length drop down sides, which is an option of premium plus packages. In the front box up here is all your air system. Now, speaking of the air system, this car is on bags in the rear, so there's no coils, there's no leaves, it's just full air, just like every other car that Wigley owns, all on air at the back. Now, the bags on the back also hooked up to the 2 via air compressors on the fuel tank headboard, and they're now hooked up to the ignition of the car, so when the car turns on, those compressors start going to fill up the tanks to keep the bags pumped up. Now, hooked up to the ignition to make sure that whenever you start the car, those bags are going to inflate. They're set to a certain pressure. It's got the auto leveling kit on it to make sure that this thing is always sitting at the level it should be. You're not manually having to adjust it to get to the right height. Also, then keeps it legal as well. So full airbag setup in the back, which is great for so many different reasons. Obviously, keeping the car level when you're towing is the main thing. When you take all that weight off, not having a really bad ride, you can also lower it right down the back end and lift up onto your trailer. If you're taking the canopy off, just like we do in the single cab, you may have seen a video of that just previously. Put the legs in the canopy, lower the car, drive straight out, canopy's done. So a big positive of the bags in the rear. So obviously it's a huge tray. This is a 2150 long by 2080 wide tray. You've got all your under tray boxes, perfect for storage. So you've got your air hose there. As I said earlier, you've got all your air system in here. You've got your gauges and your switches and all that sort of stuff. Drop down sides. It's also all carpeted for the dogs to make sure that they're nice and comfortable in there as well. Now, this is a fully custom hunting setup. We've done a few of these now. We've really started to perfect it. So you've got your canvas covers, your zips on either side. You can roll that right up or just throw it over the roof, and you've got tons of space in there. Now, Pete has a unique system for keeping the dogs nice and watered. Got the big PVC pipe here, fill it up with water. They stick their noses in there, and that's how they get their water. This canopy bolts down to the nutsert system in our trays as well, so it just bolts straight on. You've got your rear door in the back here, same sort of setup. So you can have that open like that or undo it. You've got your door to open it up. Everything jumps in there. And on the roof, you've got a little bit more storage as well, just up at the top. So as I said, we've done this a few times now. We've really started to perfect the design, even to the point of having a white roof to make sure that the dogs don't get too hot inside. So we've also now started to put that into our canopies. The off-main Navara, we put a white roof on that one. You can notice the temp difference straight away with that white roof. So plenty of storage in here if you just want to chuck some stuff in just for a weekend, or if you've got the dogs and want to go for a hunt on the weekend as well. Just bolts straight on, takes 2 seconds to put on. Now at the back of the tray, I'll speak a bit more about the tray. It's an aluminium tray. It's also got a zinc plated and powder coated chassis rail. Now the steel chassis rail is for a bit of extra strength. It gets rid of that extra flexing that you get in the aluminium chassis rails. We've also integrated the parking sensors in the rear into the back. We've also relocated the camera sensor with a 3D printed bracket. We've got the maxi lamp LED tail lights. We've also got the supernova flush mount reverse lights in here as well, hooked up to the reverse. We've got the spare wheel on the back. That's just on your lock on the thread there. We've also got another jerry can holder. Now this is more suited for your chainsaws or the AdBlue. So AdBlue is obviously something that you have in these American vehicles. I was also getting a chainsaw box, not on at the moment, but chainsaw box will sit there as well. So around the back, we've also got stuff like Anderson plug that's going to the big toy hauler on the back. You've got obviously your trailer plugs. You've got your big Gen Y hitch. So you've also got your 80 litre gravity fed water tank, perfect for filling up the bowls or if you need to fill up some stuff, waters, whatnot. So there's an 80 litre water tank underneath the tray towards the front to keep that weight forward. Now over this side of the canopy, it's all exactly the same as the other side as you saw. So the canopy is all the same. You've got more under tray toolboxes in here, fully sealed with some extra dog scratches all over it. You've also got the other box at the front here. Now, all sealed, also all lockable as well. You've also got your diesel fuel filler and your AdBlue filler at the front here, housed into the headboard. So this is a 140 litre headboard fuel tank, which is actually becoming quite popular. I think we haven't even done a ram yet without it. We've done several rams so far and they've all taken that option. So it gives you an extra 140 litre, which is then plumbed into the main tank of the vehicle. Now inside the ram, is still quite stock standard. The only difference being you've got your compressor switch. That's the compressor for the air ride system is hooked up to the ignition, so you turn the car on, the compressors turn on straight away to fill up the tank. It is an auto leveling system, so it is constantly trying to level the car as much as it can. You've got your driving light switches, you also get your big screen, all standard. The only difference being your UHF stored in the center console box here. Other than that, you've got a nice big platform to sit in. It's like sitting in a lounge chair, this thing, when you drive it. Big center console, can really stretch out and just absorbs the bumps, and it's such a comfy ride. Well, that's our 2500 Ram. We call it the WIGRAM. This thing, again, as I say, is built for a purpose and is built to do certain things. This thing is built to tow, and it's built to be comfortable on those long journeys. Pete does many, many kilometres at one time, so this thing is a perfect car to sit in and just cruise for hours on end, hundreds and hundreds of Ks on end. The trays and canopies, they're quite a standard product of ours. This tray is pretty much our standard Ram tray. The custom dog box on the back is something we can do for any model of vehicle. It's something we've done a lot in the past. When it comes to hunting, we know what we're talking about. We've been doing for many, 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 many years. So as I said, when this car gets back from the Channel Country, we are going to head up to the high country with it and give it a real thrashing off-road in the high country and see what it can handle. We haven't seen a hell of a lot of Rams doing some really, really hard tracks, so we're going to give it a go and see what we can do. That's what we're trying to find. We're trying to see how far we can push our vehicles, so when we make sure that we build a product, they're built to last and they can suit whatever you're going to be throwing at them. So that's our WIGRAM. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook. We'll have a few more of our own vehicle rundowns coming out soon, so make sure you subscribe and follow us on our YouTube channel.